wonderful it is to be here in this blending moments together with each and every one of you in this day, this evening of our time, as we all create this experience of time together. It is a fascinating time in your world, certainly, and it is for us, the Yael and I, Aishu of the Yael, a fascinating time. For we feel your hearts reaching more into the expanse of unconditional love that is your actual nature, calling into that depth of who you are as individuals, as collective, as a global community, coming back more into the awareness of your actual nature in that sense that you are actually unconditional love. The idea that you always exist here and now as unconditional love, and the sense that all that is, anything you're experiencing at any point in time, is a reflection and experience of you. The idea, the one is the all is the one, and that therein how you experience the one is the all is the one is entirely through what you most strongly put out with your emotions, and your feelings, your actions, your definitions, in that sense, the strongest vibrations you put out really attract, in a sense, or determine the reality you tune into, like if you will, like dialing in a radio station in a sense, or tuning in to a particular show or channel on the television. The strongest energies of who you believe and feel yourself to be is determining what you put out and thus tune into within the infinite. That is the one, that is all in that sense. So understand, we and you all are the same one infinite existence, infinite unconditional love, able to each express ourselves in an infinite number of ways, ever-changing ways. And certainly in our world we understand that in the infinite we have, just as you have, but we understand, we are born understanding that we have opportunities to experience joy and laughter and compassion, generous support of one another, receiving support and giving support to each other. We know there are an infinite number of ways to do this in any given moment in that sense. So the idea in your world, perhaps for a while, you're in that sense exploring, experimenting the ideas of limitation and separation, thinking there was only certain ways you could experience heavenly sensations in your life. A little bit of a limitation of exploration, in a sense. A little bit as if you were looking at your life on earth as an opportunity to play in a theater, a little bit like a scary movie or a haunted house in a sense, with all of these limited beliefs, limited ideas of separation, and you have to work and struggle to get ahead, and these ideas in that sense, all of these limitations, has allowed your society to create more and more limitations, more and more sense of scarcity, in the sense that things might not work out, a sense of disease in your experience, and diseases and illnesses and so on and so forth. And all of these are a byproduct of exploring limitation and separation in a sense. And we and you on your deeper levels of your superconscious are choosing to let go of exploring the limitation and separation. You've had enough time in the haunted house, if you will, in the scary movie, if you will. You want to start a new play, a new movie, a new experience in that sense. So it is a joy for us to be able to step in and to share with you in any ways that we can to help illuminate ways you can turn on more lights, more definitions of what is possible for you. For remember, infinite possibilities are available to you in each and every moment, in the sense for the one is the all. Infinite, all opportunities are available to you. And in that infinite, there are an infinite number of unconditionally loving, joyous experiences available for you to begin to believe in, to begin to focus on, to begin to accept that it is real, that there are actually an infinite number of unconditionally loving realities that you can feel meaningful, where you can feel like life is rewarding, like you are of service in the most heartfelt, joyous way. There are an infinite number of ways for you to experience this unfolding in your life. Thus, then, the more you simply open up to that reality, turning on those lights in a sense, more your heart knowing nature can show these realities to you. Tune in to your awareness in a way as if light bulbs start going off and you simply know, I can do this, I can do that, and I would enjoy doing this, I would enjoy doing that. I had never thought, I didn't know that was possible, but the more you open up to realize there are an infinite number of unconditionally loving, joyous, fulfilling, meaningful opportunities to choose from, the more you put that out, the more those opportunities begin to find you, begin to resonate with the frequency you are putting out in this here and now moment. Here and now moment, here and now moment, one after the next, after the next, after the next, throughout the rest of the evening, throughout your next day, your next week, your next month, your next year, throughout your next lifetime. All lifetimes, simultaneously, you begin to be able to tune in to more of the infinite that you are, finding it easier to tap into other aspects of you that exist on other parallel dimensional realities, past, future lifetimes, connecting to those aspects of yourself that exist here and now, where everything always exists in a sense, finding it within your heart's knowledge, infinite nature that begins to be more simply in your awareness, finding ways to recognize these other aspects of yourself begin to open up, become more obvious to you, simple for you to register that when you're simply sitting or driving or walking or resting and suddenly joy just starts pouring through you seemingly for no reason at all, suddenly you just start feeling good and tears of joy start coming down your face, you can begin to acknowledge this might be another aspect of you on another dimension, another lifetime. It could be a guardian angel. It could be a spirit guide. It could be your inner heart in that sense. It could be a dear friend of yours that's walking down the street beside you, and that could be your parent, it could be a brother, it could be a sister, it could be someone who's recently passed over that is connecting to you, sending you love, and there you are, feeling joy for no apparent reason. And I bring this idea up because it is something that if you invite it, if you open up, if you put out that you would like to start experiencing joyful moments for no apparent reason at all, it can start happening for you because it is simply more reflection of your actual unconditionally loving nature in that way. And you really don't have to work to feel joy. You don't have to struggle to deserve to have a meaningful, fulfilling, joyous life in that sense. And that is simply more in reflection with your actual unconditionally loving infinite nature. Therein, the more you let go of ideas based on limitation and separation, well, the more your heart can share with you these vibrations and resonances that are going to really touch base with you in a very practical, useful way in which you can suddenly be aware, I am unconditional love. And there are an infinite number of things I can be doing that are fulfilling for me from one moment to the next. I simply tune into my heart and ask or feel what would be the most next enjoyable thing that I can do. For in doing in each moment the most enjoyable thing that you're able to do, putting that out allows and sends the infinite universe to bring back to you the next most enjoyable thing. And then if you tune into what is the next most enjoyable thing that I can take action and do, and you take action and do that, you are then putting out to the universe that I am willing to be more the joyous, most unconditionally loving, exciting moment I can be from one moment to the next, and thus you begin getting back, tuning in to that reality, experiencing that you, in a sense, through, in a sense, your own causal, co-creative effort, through tuning in, feeling what is the most enjoyable thing, and taking action in that direction, in a sense. And so that might seem somewhat simple, or it might seem mysterious to you. So you can, in the question and answer segment, if it is something you would like to open up more, you can feel free to ask about to get more specifics in that process. But it can be as simple as expressing to yourself, to your inner heart, your higher self, inner self, whatever you want to call it, I would love to begin knowing in any given and every given and all moments of the here and now, feeling what would be the most enjoyable action I can take that will then therefore, because it is the most joyous thing I'm feeling, it will automatically be most in alignment with that which I have come into this lifetime to be, to express more of my unconditionally loving nature from one moment to the next in that sense. For the feeling of joy, the feeling of excitement, the idea to follow your heart in the sense feeling the heart joyousness feels that way because that is simply more resonant of your actual unconditionally loving nature in that sense. It isn't because somebody is giving you all of these extra credits or gold stars in that sense. It is simply more a reflection of who you actually are. So when you do the thing that feels the greatest joy to you and you act on it, you are simply being more of who you actually are. And there, in that sense, is no limit to where and how the depth of that can feel for you. It is unlimited in that.